Hey, welcome to Unbox Burrito. So here is the Bloodstained Kickstarter Collector's Edition, which I helped back almost 5 years ago. I've already made an unboxing video of this, so I'll put a link in the description and at the end of this video. Right now I'm making an updated video because I received a fangamer bonus poster of Bloodstained, so I'm going to show that off to you guys. And I decided why not? I'm going to go through the entire art book that you see over there and talk about what is inside. Before we go into the art book, let's open up this poster tube to see what we got in here. So I'm not even sure what this is. I didn't even know that I was gonna receive this poster. I just randomly got it in the mail. It actually looks like there's two posters in here. Oh, nice. Okay. Uh-oh. Rounded, rolled up version of the same poster that comes in the collector's set that I bought here. So it's that same poster. The only difference is that the collector's set, they had to fold it, so it has folded creases on it. But this time, they sent one that you can have unfolded without any creases because it's rolled. And now for the second poster, woo, it looks like prototype drawing of Miriam and her nice blue, in a nice blue tone here. You can see the castle in the background here as well. So yeah, that's really nice. I'm gonna have to display this one day. So yeah, very angry Miriam. You can still see it has like sketch markings, and here's the signature of the artist. So yeah, those are the two posters I got. Okay, so here I have the camera set up to go through this art book. Let's see. So first page, we have the art of Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. We have a bunch of the credits here. We have the contents. There's an introduction, a character section, environment section, demon, weapon, and equipment section. So here we have an introduction, a message from Iga. So the introduction is basically saying they were very excited to have Bloodstained become a reality, and this art book contains all of the actual files that they used when planning the development of the look of the game. So here we have some concepts of the logo, and then the final logo at the bottom. And then now we're into the characters. So now they're saying that obviously the characters are one of the hardest things to finalize, and a lot of different drawings and ideas have to be made. So here we have Miriam's concept drawings with the pretty final result of Miriam. Wow. How come we don't have this Miriam in the game? Very cute Miriam holding a rose. And here is one of the final outfits you get. One of my favorite outfits. Basically like the only other outfit that actually is shown. One of the things, if I had to complain about the game, is that they didn't visually change the appearance of your outfits for most outfits. Basically, only one outfit actually changes. So you're either just gonna have Miriam in her default outfit or her white outfit there at the end. And as you can see, these are all the characters in the game, even the not so important ones.
Kill those murderers dead!
Oh wow, they have Iga here as well. Part of the DLC. You can fight Iga as a final boss. Here's the environments. This has become a very iconic level for me. The very first level. And the base that you set up in the broken down village here. The music and look of the beginning of the game is just so iconic to me. This is one of my favorite places too, the piano. By the way, if you sit at the piano for a while, she would actually start playing it. Cathedral. These are very nice drawings. You can actually get to see a lot of these levels from a different perspective. Like look at the throne. Livre Ex Machina. The Towers of the Twin Dragons. This was a really cool concept in the game with the 2 towers. And you can spin around, rotate 360. The Bridge of Evil with a train. By the way, there's a secret if you look out the window on the train. The Hidden Desert. Secret Sorcery Lab. This one was actually one of the more shorter levels. Underground steampunk style. The Oriental Sorcery Lab. Funny enough, this to me felt like the least Bloodstained or Castlevania-ish styled level. Inferno Cave. This is one of the hardest levels because of the lava. Den of Behemoths, the Save Room, Glacial Tomb, and the Teleport Room. Man, all the designs of these rooms are just... I never really realized how nicely designed they were. Now the demons. Now let's look at the monsters that you fight. Mort, the Carriage Mort, a Bone Mort, Bomber Mort. All of the basic, easy. The Dula Hammer. Actually, the Dula Hammer is not that strong. He just looks big and tough. Then we got the Shield Outsider. The Axe Outsider. Sabnock. There's some bunch of weird names. A lot of these styles of monsters. The Poltergeist with Iga himself. So I'm like so jealous to all the people who are able to kickstart and put their own portrait in the game. The Killer Barber, this is hilarious. I am pretty sure everyone, the first time you find this guy, you start attacking him because you think he's a demon monster that's about to fight you back, but he really is just like the demon barber of Fleet Street. So I think these are the 3 cats from Kickstarters. Their own pet cat as a demon in-game. And same with the 2 dogs. Puppy and Rocky. I'm not sure what the relation is here, but they're basically friends with the team of Shovel Knight. They have these 4 Shovel Knights that you actually fight in the underground waterways. Fire, Thunder, Ice Elementals. Okay, so this is a hilarious demon. You're basically just a like teenage rocker chick that like shoots flames out of her guitar. That one I found hilarious. This is probably one of the most scariest things. Like, they're not even hard. They're just freaky looking, freaky sounding, especially when they're lying down crying. This thing like freaks me out every time. Like, I could be like level 1000, way overpowered, where like I can breathe on this thing to kill it, and this thing would still freak the hell out of me. Mimics. The chair mimic, this is actually pretty funny. Not that big of a threat, but it does give you a little scare the first time you try to sit on one. The Silver Knight. This is one of my favorite familiars. Now here are the bonus bosses here. We have a Millionaire Bane slot machine. We have a Master Carpenter. Who's the other one? Oh yeah, this one, the Revenant. Supposed to be one of the Castlevania characters. I'm not sure which one off the top of my head, but it's supposed to be his like zombified corpse. Then we have an 8-bit boss. These are the bonus dungeons. These are the actual bosses. One of the coolest bosses designs, I have to say. I'm not sure if that's Angela Fuss or Angela Puss. Here's the twin-headed dragons on the tower that you fight. The train. Bloodless. A very now considered classic character for this game. The doppelganger. That was a fun moment. This guy too, the money hungry coin guy. His health is actually dependent on how much money you're currently holding. Gremory. I'm not going to say too much about Gremory in case you haven't played the game. And this dude, weapons. Now we have a whole bunch of weapons that honestly, I didn't really use many of these weapons. I love to use magic attacks. This blue rose though, my favorite sword. It's basically Miriam's sword with her flowers on it. The moment I got this is all I use for the rest of the game. I think it's one of the fastest damage output swords. But there are a lot of nice swords to use, and here are the shoes. The toy shoes is one of the best jokes I've ever seen put in. It makes a squeaky sound when you run, and especially if you have the magic power to run faster. The bunny shoes are really cute. What's cool is that these shoes, I think you actually aesthetically see it, like see Miriam wearing them. So they actually make aesthetic changes, which are nice. And here we have daggers, clubs, great swords. I didn't really use any great swords because again they're slow. They're like dual wield. Eternal blue I guess is the great sword for Miriam. Katanas. Other than the Zangetsu though, whoa, I didn't realize Miriam has a katana too. I have to try that one out. I haven't tried that one out yet. Spears. Here's a Shovel Knight spear. More spears. Whips. So this game actually went more unique with the way whips work. So I actually never really use whips because they don't work like a traditional Castlevania whip where the whip shoots out and forward. It like whips more downwards. This technically could be more realistic on how you would use a whip, but I never use it. Same with the firearms. I find that the firearms are just a bit too weak, and I don't like how they do the bullet system where you always have to like actually worry about your ammo. So I never really found myself using guns. And so here are the backer weapons. So we have a more like steampunk sword. We got some nice looking shoes. Look at this one. I don't recall getting those ones. Haha, someone went like lightsaber style. This one is a cool one to see in game. Oh, this one, I like the idea of this. It's a dark and light whip that you can switch between. I think it does more damage to certain monsters if you use the opposite elements that they are. Here's equipment. It's just pictures of Miriam wearing some of the things, like the hat, Santa hat, love that. The wolf hood. So a lot of these I actually never actually worn. So I'm going to assume you could actually see her wearing these in game. Well, yes, the cute beast beret. I definitely had to wear this. And yes, you definitely can see her wearing that as an aesthetic change. So yeah, it's cool. This ribbon, I love the way this ribbon looks. Like I basically made these ribbons her default look. I played most of the game wearing this ribbon just because I love the way it looks. Oh yes. I do like my ladies in glasses. Aside from the crazy ability that Jibo's glasses gives you, I love the fact that you can actually see her wearing it because I like my nerd girls. Oh, and that's it. So that's the end. Now it says thank you, and you can see Miriam here holding puppets of Jibo and Johannes. She's playing the two boys like puppets. Is Johannes a friend zoned, or you shipping him and Miriam together? Johannes here seems to always be impressed by Miriam. So yeah, that's the entire art book that came in the collector's edition. I figured many people will not have this art book and probably can't get this art book because it wasn't released as a regular collector's edition. If you unfortunately haven't backed the campaign, you can't anymore, so you can't get it. So I figured show you guys the entire booklet in its entirety. So if you guys have any questions or you have comments you want to talk about Bloodstained, just like leave it in the comment below. Give me a like, subscribe. I like to hear from all you Bloodstained fans. Thanks for watching.